I sent 1,000 emails every single day for 30 days, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how much money that I made doing this. Now, let me show you the strategy that I use to book multiple calls on our team's sales calendar every single day. So the reason that you need to use cold email to book meetings and to generate revenue is, one, you get to hyper-target the perfect prospect for your business. If you only want to sell to Fortune 500 CEOs, using cold email, you can do this. It's also by far the most affordable way to generate leads predictably. This method's been used for decades, so it's not going anywhere, and it's still relatively affordable, and it works really well. If you haven't already, go to instantly.ai, sign up for a free trial, and here you're going to be able to find leads and add them to a campaign. Once you've signed up for instantly.ai, go ahead and click Add New under Campaigns. You're going to start building this campaign from scratch. I'm going to call this Instantly 30-Day 1,000 Email Test. Now, what you're going to want to do before you start adding prospects to this campaign is build your sequence. I like to do a 3-step email sequence. I like to wait 2 days for that second step and then 3 days for that third step. That way you get to contact people just enough times and you're not wasting your emails. So to create email copy, I like to do this in MailMeteor's free tool. It's mailmeteor.com/spam checker. This will scrape your email for spammy words that could get your email flagged and really hurt your domain reputation. The subject line that I used was question first name. And as you can see, I actually created a bunch of different variations to see what would work best. They're all relatively the same, but they just have one minor thing different. And as you can see, I'm only testing the subject line here. During your split test, you should only test one thing at a time. And then in step 2, we left the subject line blank so that it would be delivered in the exact same thread, just as kind of a reminder. And as you can see in step 1, I didn't give any link. I left an open-ended question. The goal with this is to get them to reply. A positive reply is a good signal to email servers that your domain is good, that your emails are good, and it will continue to send and not go to spam. Then once somebody actually replies to that email, my team follows up, gets them onto a call. However, in step 2, we do include a link. Some people just want to book on a link. They don't want to talk to somebody before they get on a calendar. Step 3, you can either leave the subject line blank to go in the same thread, or you can start a new thread. That's up to you. I encourage you to experiment. But at this point, we're just sending reminders in case they may have ignored the first couple of emails, and this tends to work really well. So how does the math work out if you want to send 1,000 emails a day for 30 days? Well, here it is. If you want to send 1,000 per day, and you're sending about 50 emails per day per sending account, you're going to need 20 email senders attached to that campaign. And you're going to send a total of about 30,000 emails. If your campaign is 3 email sequences long, then you'll need about 10,000 leads in that campaign to keep it populated. So now that we have our campaign and our copy all set up, let's actually find some leads to add to that campaign. Now, Instantly's lead finder is unbelievable. It's all verified emails, so you know you're sending to a safe email account. So let's go in here and figure out who our best customers are going to be. So I already know for our business, we usually work specifically with CEOs and founders. So let's type in CEO, founder, owner. Our location, we work only in the United States. The industry that we're going to target is going to be business services. If you try and target companies with 250 to 1,000 employees or more, you're going to have a hard time generating calls, especially if you're going after the decision makers in those companies. So we're going to stick to smaller companies, 0 to 25 employees. There's some other really cool filters here that you can play around with. Some that I like are technologies. So if you sell a software product or a service around a software, you can use technologies in order to hyper-target people who are using specific things, like Google AdWords or WordPress. You can use job listings to look for companies who have active job postings for a specific role. All right, this all looks good. We've got over 100,000 results that fit my criteria. So let's go ahead and select the first 1,000 results. We're then going to add to campaign, and we're going to add this to our Instantly 30-day test. We can check for duplicates across campaigns. I'm not going to. And we already know that the emails are verified. So that saves us a big step that we do not have to do. We don't have to plug this data into Million Verifier. I've done this test. These emails are valid. I've added these leads into my new campaign, and here we are inside of that campaign. Let's check that they're all here. Awesome. Everyone is here. They're in the process of being verified. We're going to come over to options and attach emails to this campaign. Make sure that you attach enough if you want to send a specific amount per month. Remember, we need 20 here. Now, when I'm starting a new campaign, I'll always click stop on auto reply. I'll enable, and then all tracking I leave on during the beginning. I want to see if people are clicking my links. I want to see if they're opening. I want to see if they're replying. All this helps me make decisions on my split tests. Now, once you have a campaign running and you're no longer doing split tests, I recommend turning all tracking off. Each tracking code that you use, whether that's open tracking or it's link click tracking, adds code to your email and increases the chances of that email being flagged as spam or not delivered to their inbox. And once you have a campaign running smoothly and you know you're not going to be running more split tests, you can send as text only with no HTML. Your daily limit, you're going to set according to to how many accounts you have up here. So if you have 10 accounts, sending 50 per day, then your daily limit is going to be 500. Now down in the advanced settings, I do like to prioritize new leads. I believe it's more important to hit people with the first touch than the second and the third touch. The other options, you can just go ahead and leave off. All right, that's it. We're ready to start your campaign. You've got all your emails loaded up. You've got all of your leads uploaded. You've got your copy set, your split test ready to go. And once you hit start, what I recommend doing is every few days coming in to check on the status of that campaign. Make sure that it's actively sending. You can also come into your Unibox and make sure that those emails are delivering the way that you intended for them to. Make sure that there's no typos and make sure that they're formatted correctly. The other thing to look at is your split tests. If there's one that's clearly outperforming the others, you can go ahead and turn the other split tests off, but make sure that you have enough data. I would say at least 100 emails per split test before you can make a decision on which one is working or not. So it's been 30 days, and the goal with my email campaign was to book calls on the calendar for my sales team. So let's take a look at the results of the campaign, the analytics, and then I'm going to show you the actual numbers for how many calls I booked and how much revenue that generated for us. All right, so here we are in the actual campaign, the instantly 30-day test. We've got about 27,000 people contacted with an open rate of 72% and a reply rate of 3%. Now these are very good numbers. You should be going for an open rate of at least 60% and a reply rate of at least 1%. If you can get that above those numbers, you're doing an awesome job. We have link click tracking off, and it is counting our opportunities. These are going to be AI generated positive responses. So Instantly uses AI to deem a response either good or bad. And here's the results of some of these split tests. As you can see, this one was performing much worse than the others. Only a 38% open rate and a 0% reply rate, whereas the other ones were getting between 2 and 3%. Down here, they're about even, so I'm going to let these two split tests run, and it looks like we're doing a great job in terms of numbers. So now that we took a look at the analytics on the email campaign, let's take a look at our Plecto dashboard to see how many calls were actually generated. So here's where we track different marketing metrics. Over the past 30 days, we generated 33 calls from this single campaign. Now, just for reference, a qualified call for us is worth over $1,000 because the lifetime value is over $20,000. So what does that mean in terms of revenue? We've calculated that a qualified call for our sales team that shows up is worth about $1,200. So if you multiply 33 by 1,200, that would be the revenue generated by that campaign. And here's the revenue generated in the past 30 days attributed to that campaign. So now that you've seen my results after sending 1,000 emails per day for 30 days, I hope you can see that cold email is extremely effective and relatively easy. There's no reason that you can't do this yourself. If you want to fill up your calendar on autopilot and scale your company, you need to be doing cold email. So if you want to start getting results like these for yourself and start sending cold emails, watch this video right here and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another one.